for this day, for the love that you wash over me, and this joy in my heart I will share with the world. Oh, Mother God, blessed be. Oh, Mother God, blessed be. Oh, Mother God, flowing through our hearts, we give thanks for the bread of our lives, for the hands in the earth and the fruit of your womb. Oh, Mother God, blessed be. Oh, Mother God, blessed be. Oh, Mother God, thank you for this day, for the love that you wash over me, and this joy in my heart I will share with the world. Oh, Mother God, blessed be. Oh, Mother God, blessed be. Oh, Mother God, blessed be.
Happy Mother's Day. How many people have a mother? You know, some of us may have been blessed to grow up with a mother like June Cleaver. Does everybody know who that is? It's like I kind of date myself sometimes when I try to make pop culture references. When I talk about a television show that was on in the 50s, Leave It to Beaver, if you're young, and June Cleaver was the perfect mother. She was Susie Homemaker. She stayed at home and took care of the kids, and made the dinner. And she did it in high heels and makeup, and she looked really good doing it, right? When Ward came home from work, she was ready, had dinner on the table, the pearls and a smile, right? Yeah. And then some of us may have grown up with Joan Crawford. My mom was somewhere in the middle. Because one day I realized I had to have my birth certificate for some reason, and I was looking at it, and I realized that when my mother and father, when I was born, they were 20 and 21. It's like, man, I could hardly put two sentences together when I was 20 years old. That was a mess. You know, I remember, because I have a son, and I remember when he was born and we took him home from the hospital. It was one of the scariest days of my life. I'm like, what am I supposed to do with this? You know, it doesn't come with a book. You know, I was pretty much just making it up, right, Josh? Okay, let's see what we do now with this, right? So it took me a while, but I finally got to the place where, you know, they were young, they did the best they could. You know, there were times when that divine mother love came through my parents, and there were times when it didn't. But the cool thing is that there are other people in my life who have shown up as containers or channels for divine love. For instance, some of you you know my friend Elizabeth, who's been here at the church before. She was here when I got ordained. When my mom passed, she kind of stepped in, and she was very helpful with my son. She turned into like my son Jason's grandma, because he was really close to his grandmother, and she was gone. Elizabeth stepped in. He seems to have the knack for drawing these maternal figures to him. And what it says to me is that it's not the form, but it's what's behind it that counts. This source of divine love is constant and eternal, and it shows up for us through different channels. Sometimes that's our birth mother, sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's different people. And it comes through more powerfully at different times through different people. Guys can show up as a motherly love, because when you think about the feminine qualities of God, what do you think of? Love, beauty, nurturing, compassion. We all have that in us. You know, we talk about God as power and presence. So when I think of that, I think of the male principle as the power, as the law, the principle, this is the way it is, kind of masculine thing, but the presence, that Holy Spirit presence, that divine feminine, that sweet energy that we feel when we come together in meditation, when we're in love, when we're enjoying a beautiful day, we feel that loving spirit. And guess what? The cool thing is that it's inside each and every one of you. Like this Father, Mother, God is inside of you. I loved it when Joanne said that in her prayer, because I remember the first time I went to a Unity church and I heard somebody say that. No one ever said that to me before. Oh, Father, Mother, God. Because used to, when I prayed in the church, you know, we did the Lord's Prayer, which says, Our Father. In fact, some churches even call that prayer the Our Father. And Jesus talked about Father in the New Testament. That's really not translated correctly. You know, Jesus didn't speak Greek or Hebrew. He spoke Aramaic. And Rocco Erico, who lives in Atlanta, he's a biblical Aramaic scholar, will tell you that when Jesus was speaking to God, he used the word Abba, which is more correctly translated like sweetie or honey. If you were addressing somebody in your family, your brother or sister, oh, brother, oh, sweetie, oh, honey, oh, beloved, that's what Jesus was saying. He wasn't really saying Father. You know, the King James put that part in there. So we kind of left Mom, the divine Mom, out of the equation for a while. So when I hear Father, Mother, God, you know, and the wonderful thing is, it can show up to us through other people, and it can show up through us too. You are more than you realize that you are. Tell your neighbor, you're more than you realize. You're more than you know that you are. And I'm talking to you if you feel like your life is in the pit and you don't know what you're going to do next, everything is going wrong, you're more than you know. If things are going great and life is really good for you, guess what? It can be even better because you're more than you know. We don't realize the power and the presence that we are. If we did, it'd probably scare us to death. I was dancing with the Savannah Stars Friday night. Jules, the Hayes showed out. She showed up and showed out. One of the judges that was judging said there are a few true stars in Savannah, and Jules is one of them. And I said, yeah. And she's one of us. Right? And I thought, this happens when you practice unity principles. Like, she did something that she didn't know if she could do or not, and she did it really well. And she looked good doing it too. And then, so that was Friday. Then on Saturday, I go to Peggy's fundraiser, a Kentucky Derby party to raise money for the Pegasus Riding Academy. And Peggy stands up and she gives her testimony again that, what, 3 years ago was it?
Yeah, yeah.
That you had 3 horses and an intention. And it's taking chemo and radiation. And today she has a nonprofit, Pegasus Riding Academy. And you guys were just at a competition on Saturday.
Special Olympics. 14 children.
Awesome. And there it was again. 2 days in a row, I got to see our principles put into practice and the amazing things that we can do because we're more than we know. We are divine love in expression. We can do anything that we set our intention to because we have that power, the power of free will. We weren't born in original sin. We are an original blessing. Amen? Amen. So I want to get real with y'all a little bit this morning. I don't know what's going on with me. My heart is cracking wide open. Like, I will drive down the road and see the trees overhanging the road and I'll start crying. I just sit in the backyard looking at the bee and going in the little house I made for it. He's going in the house. Right? I feel like, man, it's just like something is happening. I don't know if you guys feel the same way. Like something's going on. I don't know what it is, but so you hear us talk about Canuga, right? Canuga. Who's been to the Canuga? Y'all need to go to this. we have a sub-region. Unity's divided up into regions. Our sub-region is Tennessee, Georgia, North and South Carolina. I meet with the ministers from that area 3 times a year, and in September we put a retreat together, and it's at the Canuga Conference Center near Hendersonville, North Carolina. So we always just say, are you going to Canuga this year? You know, Rochelle's like, yes, I'm going to Canuga. Because our band is the house band at Canuga, and we rock North Carolina when we're there. It's in Eddie Watkins Jr. Y'all know Eddie is a musician this year, so we're going to have a good time. So the last time that I was at Canuga, I saw someone who is a hero of mine, somebody that I admire very much. His name is Sky St. John, and when I first said yes to being a minister, it was because I saw him. He was an example and gave me a little bit of a glimpse that I was more than I thought I was, and that I could do more than I was doing. He got up and gave a workshop called Good Church is Good Theater. And I was like, yeah, it is. I've been doing a lot of community theater, and I thought, how can I bring this into church? And I was at a really small church, and I didn't talk about it much, but it's like everything that he was and everything that he said and just the way he was. He's a piano player. He's very charismatic. I just thought, man, I could be like him one day. And so I went up and started talking to him. I was really nervous. He took me out for dinner. He helped me see. He was nurturing to me. He was compassionate to me. He was that divine love, you know, saying, you can do this. I was worried that I would have to give up everything that I love to do to be in ministry. And he said, no, those are the things that you use in your ministry. So at different points in my ministry path, he would be there helping me along. Like when I moved from Alabama to Kansas City to go to ministerial school, which actually didn't happen. All this other stuff happened, great stuff. He said, you guys, me and my son, are going to need it. You're going to need a place to land. So you're going to stay with me. Like ask him. He just told me. So we stayed with him for a month until we got our own place. Just stuff like that along the way. So the last time I saw him was at Canada a couple of years ago, and he was the keynote speaker there. But there was something different about him. I couldn't put my finger on it. He seemed a little distant. When he was up doing his thing, he was just this normal guy, but when I would see him on the grounds. And so, of course, I took it personally, because whether you know it or not, the whole world revolves around me. Right? So I must have done something to make him mad at me or upset. He's advising me, talking to me, you know. Of course, I didn't go up to him and say anything to him. And then a few months later, he passed. Like just out of the blue, in his early 60s. One of those people in unity that you think are going to fairly sizzle and seal, sizzle with zeal and enthusiasm when they're 92 years old. Like he's the guy, right, that's going to do that. You know, if anybody is going to learn how to do this regeneration thing that our founders talked about, it's him. You know, and then suddenly he's not here anymore. And I missed the opportunity to connect with him just a few months before that because of my selfishness, because of my thoughts, because of my fear. And I really regret it. So, our UMOS group met this past week in North Carolina. We usually meet Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And Christy Snow, some of y'all know Christy Snow, right? Singer, minister, awesome person. She travels around a lot. She was at the church that we were meeting at on Sunday. And she did a concert on Monday. And she did a Taze service, which is a prayer service with her flute on Tuesday. And just, we all went out to eat Tuesday after the meeting, and we went to her Taze service, and it was just incredible. And she said to me, she said, you know, I had planned on going home after this service, but you know, I got a couple extra days, and I know that you guys have another day here. Would it be okay if I stayed with you tomorrow? I said yes, immediately, because I thought about Sky, and I thought, what if this was the last time I get to see her? Like, I don't want to miss this chance, right? So, my lesson that I learned from this is that, number one, don't put anybody up on a pedestal, because your heroes are people too, just like everybody else. And sometimes they need us to be the channels of divine love, just like they've been. How selfish of me to think that somebody ought to give to me every time I demand it, or every time we show up. You know, it's okay for me to open my heart and to give to that person that's been a source for me. And the other most important thing is, like, don't take this for granted. Like, anybody can be gone. When I lived at Unity Village, everybody came and went all the time because people were going to ministerial school. They would come and work there for a while. I had to get used to people coming and going a lot. I would open my heart and get to know somebody, and then they'd be like, oh, well, I got a church in Alaska, and I'm leaving tomorrow. It's good knowing you. You know, you never know what situation is going to be different tomorrow. You never know when somebody that you really cherish that's in your life every day today is going to be gone tomorrow. Shoot, I might be gone tomorrow. Who knows? So don't take anything for granted. Every day is a reason to celebrate out loud. And I'm so grateful for the people that are living out loud that are showing me how to do it. Every sunrise is a sacred invitation. An invitation to be in the moment and to feast on this beautiful experience that we call life. And whether you know it or not, every ray of sun is shining just for you. And the only thing that you have to do is turn your face toward the sun. Because everything that you want, everything that you desire, everything that you cherish and hold dear is right here, right now, in this moment, just waiting for you. Your whole life is right in front of you.
Every day is a reason to celebrate out loud. Every sunrise a sacred invitation